Hey ladies, what's up? Welcome back. All right. We are back to regularly scheduled programming. If you were here last week, oh my gosh, I was completely bundled up. It was freezing. Um, if you don't know, I'm Canadian, but I've been living in Mexico for the last 5 years, and we had the biggest cold front this area has ever seen. It dropped to 10 degrees Celsius. And I know that's nothing compared to Canada or most parts of the US, but here it was a bit of a shock. Anyway, I was all bundled up. And fun fact that there's no heat where I live here in the tropics, which sounds pretty common sense, but I never realized until I actually needed it. There's no heat, because why would you have heat in the tropics? But there's lots of AC, but no heat. So anyway, I was all bundled up last week, just shivering. But here we are. We're back to 27, 28 degrees. Anyway, you are not here to talk about the weather. You are here to hear the truth about carbs and fat loss in peri and menopause. This is a really big one because anytime I talk to women at this age that are struggling to lose weight, it usually comes down to one of three things that they're doing they think they're doing the right thing, but it's keeping them stuck. And one is severe calorie restriction. Another one is intermittent fasting, and a big one is carbs. And so a lot of women, when trying to lose weight, at any age really, but at this age, is cutting carbs, and it's not working. And so you cut them lower and lower, and it's still not working, and in fact can be completely stalling weight loss. And that's when you think, I guess weight gain is inevitable at this age because it's just not working. The things that used to work no longer work for me. But that's simply not the case. So one of the reasons that people continuously go on these low carb diets is because they get a quick win oftentimes. And that quick win is simply because carbs hold water. So if you eliminate or vastly decrease carbs right away, you may feel like you lost a little bit of weight, but that's just you're losing the water weight that the carbs were holding. It's not body fat, and it is temporary. And nobody can live on a low carb diet forever because we need carbs. Our body needs them. So I'm going to explain to you why we need them, but also one of the important things that is often overlooked, and it's why women do plans and get frustrated, is because it's a mindset thing. It's really important that you need to have the proper strategy and the proper process, but trust the process, because a lot of it is against what we've been taught and what we've been doing for years, namely cutting or eliminating carbs. When you can wrap your head around how they're needed by the body, it becomes much easier to embrace them into your life, because when you do a strict plan, nobody's considering the mindset around it. We've been stuck in this diet mentality for years and years, and we think we have to stick to it, and we have to measure this, and we have to measure that. And even if you lost weight doing that short term, you're not going to be able to keep it off, because you've got to be able to do something that you can maintain and something that's going to work in the real world. So what I think is important to understand here is that weight loss, especially at this age, because this is obviously what I specialize in and this is what we're talking about, and you would be a woman over 40 if you are listening to this right now, it is not a calorie issue. It is a signaling issue. So in order to fuel, because our hormones are changing at this age, this is a fact. It is a fact. And so we have to accept it. It is what it is. And then recognize that for true hormonal health, which is what we need for our hormones to be signaling properly, you cannot starve your way to hormonal health. That is very important to understand. You cannot starve your way to hormonal health. Your hormones, and when I say hormones, I don't mean simply estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. I mean also hormones like your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, insulin, which is a fat storage hormone, is very important. These are all affected by the fluctuation and decline of estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. They're all affected. Everything is tied together. So when you really get it, that this is not a calorie issue, it is a hormone signaling issue, it becomes a lot easier to trust the process. So in order to have true hormonal health, you have to fuel your body properly. keep this in mind. You cannot starve your way to hormonal health. It is going to make it worse. It's going to frustrate you, and it's not going to work. Carbs are essential for hormonal health. When we think carbs, they have such a bad name because, there's kind of good carbs and bad carbs. They are not all the same, and they do not have the same reactions in the body. The simplest way to remember it is that bad carbs, in the big picture, gosh, we could go on for hours on this, and I don't want to waste your time going off on tangents, but when you've got everything else dialed in and your hormones are firing properly on all cylinders, you can have room to have the bad carbs. Like, no food is bad inherently, but you can't build your foundation on them. So you've got to build a strong foundation first, and then you can have some wiggle room for the other foods, and they're not going to negatively impact you and make you gain weight overnight. So we got to focus on the foundation first. How do we do that? We do that by giving our body the proper food to fuel our hormones to give the proper signals. When we do this, your body is going to signal properly when you've had enough to eat. Your body is going to not have food cravings because you're giving it everything it needs, so you don't need to have cravings. And your body is going to unlock fat loss so you can burn off excess body fat, and when you eat food, your body is going to efficiently use it as fuel, not store it as fat. When we look at carbs, the white carbs, the bad carbs without fiber, they're going to spike your blood sugar very quickly. With the decline in estrogen, we're a little more sensitive to blood sugar issues. So even though you may think you have not changed anything, and I believe people when they tell me that, I haven't changed anything, but I'm gaining weight out of nowhere. Yes, I get it, because your body's handling it differently. So instead of cutting everything back more, what we want to do instead is we want to go in and say, okay, let's correct that signaling issue, right? So because we become a little more sensitive to blood sugar issues, that means insulin, which is the hormone that gets your energy into your cells. Insulin's a fat storage hormone. So if you're having a blood sugar issue, then you're going to have an insulin issue. So we just have to make your body more sensitive to insulin, right? And carbs help to do that. One of the things that is often overlooked at this age, and even for yourself, take a really good look at what you're doing, is most women aren't getting enough fiber. Well, guess how fiber comes? Fiber is a carb. And women are eliminating carbs, they're not getting any fiber. Well, we need the fiber to help balance our blood sugar, which is going to help us have a better insulin response. We also need it for our gut health, and our gut health is running the show with hormonal health. So you've got to keep the carbs in, but you got to do it strategically. So one of the things you want to do is make sure those carbs you're having have plenty of fiber. You want to be having like 25, 30 grams of fiber per day. That's going to slow down the absorption or the spike in blood sugar from the carbs because it's got fiber. It slows it down. So this is going to help your insulin response. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing is carbs are essential for thyroid health. Your thyroid is your master hormone for regulating your metabolism. So when women are giving up carbs, you're affecting your thyroid. So you're slowing your metabolism down, right? So here's the thing with the carbs. They're going to give you energy as well. I know a lot of women I speak to as well have problems with their energy. Their energy is low. Girl, you've got to have the carbs. They're a fuel source, but you've got to have the carbs with fiber. So here's why you want to have carbs strategically. You don't want to have naked carbs, meaning you don't want to just eat carbs on their own. So you want to pair your carbs with some protein. A lot of women are also under eating protein at this age. That's going to help to balance out your blood sugar further. You also want to pair your carbs with healthy fats. Healthy fats are essential for hormonal health. And you don't just want to have them on their own. So it's just in how you're balancing everything out. But you definitely don't want to eliminate them because nothing else is going to function properly. So if you get anything from this today, what I want you to really, really think about, genuinely, you cannot starve your way to hormonal health. You cannot do it. You need to fuel your body properly in order for your hormones to be signaling properly. It is not only going to help you unlock fat loss, and by eating most likely more than you are now, but it's going to give you more energy, but it's going to be long lasting because you set the foundation strong by giving your body the fuel it needs to be firing on all cylinders, right? I hope that makes sense. I want you to drop below if that makes sense, if you have any other questions. But really impress that upon yourself. It is not a calorie issue at this age. You can lower your calories as low and low and low as you want. But if you don't have those signals firing properly, you're just hurting the system more and making it harder. And that's why a lot of women think that it's impossible at this age, because they're doing those things, the things we used to do, and they're not working. It's just that you're doing the wrong things for this age, and for any age, I would argue, but especially for this age when we're more sensitive to a lot of these issues. Anyway, any questions, drop them below. I hope that helps you. I hope it makes you feel better that you can and absolutely should be having carbs in order to effectively lose weight at this age. It's going to work with your hormone signaling, and carbs are a fuel source. They are not the enemy. We need them. We just need the right ones paired properly. You're going to feel a heck of a lot better too. If you guys haven't already, I created a quiz to help you out. Most women, I find, fall into one of three weight loss resistance patterns. So instead of just taking generic advice and you don't know what's kind of making your weight be a little sticky and a little resistant, I created a short quiz for you. You answer 8 questions, and it's going to let you know, based on those answers, what your weight loss resistance pattern is, which one of the 3 fits you. And then you'll get an email with an explanation on that, so you can help you to understand it a little bit and take out some of the frustration for you. If you would like me to send you the quiz, just drop the word below quiz, or you can send me a private DM. I always love to hear from you guys with the word quiz. And I have also linked it at the first link in my bio that you can just grab it there for free as well. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.